Good morning, people. It's another beautiful day out here in California. Sun shining. It's a blessing being out here when it comes to the weather. I think the rest of the country's just now thawing out. It's funny. Thank you to anybody who watches my videos. I just make these videos because my wife can only listen to so much of me talking about things, and a lot of the subjects that I read about and talk about, and a lot of my friends and family are really even understand what the hell I'm talking about, or let alone get me, especially when it comes to ancient history and stuff. I use a lot of words that are over people's heads, and even my mom looks at me like, what are you talking about? But I like making these videos because sometimes you just want to get something off your chest, and it's nice to have an occasional person go, hey, I get what you're saying, give you a thumbs up. I've made a lot of videos about measurement lately, and it seems kind of a boring topic, when it comes down to, hey, should we use a meter or a yard or, metric system or imperial system? I kind of stumbled into that through studying ancient history, and I just realized that I think it's very important that we keep it alive. And I pulled up a map the other day of the world, and I wanted to see, what countries still use it. And it's basically us and a couple little specks on the map. And I thought, man, maybe I should pick this back up and keep making videos and talking about it, because when you study philosophy and you hear these things about knowing yourself, and man is the mirror of all things, without that empirical system of knowledge, it's imperial system of knowledge. It's kind of hard to unravel it. I'm not going to try to do math anymore, but if you just take your heartbeat at 72 beats per minute and start timesing it by your digits, you're going to get all kinds of cool fractal and variant harmony dimensions that you can correlate in degrees and miles that correspond with the sun and our system of time, and the year of our Lord, the Earth dimensions, geodetic information. And if you really want to understand the zodiac and the way it moves, or the whole astro-theological stories, all you gotta do is know your heartbeat in your hands and your digits and your spine, and you can unravel all this stuff. And as I start looking into it, I'm realizing, geez, not a lot of people know this. I figured there'd be more subjects on it. Scale and variant harmony, there's only a few people I've even heard bring it up. There's a fractal and chaos theory book. I can't remember the author. There's a small little, maybe a page dedicated to scale and variant harmony. When I took my music theory classes, it kind of touches on it, because it's a difference between when the harmony stays the same but the tempo changes, like na 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 na. For an example, that'd be a scale invariant harmony. Tempos, so it's like taking away and adding zeros. But I don't know. I think I'll just go with my heart and keep making videos about this, even though I said I was going to stop. But it's really the mathematics. I hate fumbling my math around and try to make a video where I just look stupid in the end. But yeah, when I looked at that map and I realized, oh my God, America really is the last ones holding it down. I know in Britain and other places in Canada that it's still intermingled, and the metric system is intermingled here in the States too. I do know some things about the metric system. I mean, it's on all of our gas gauges and our miles per hour gauges. And, of course, I've worked on cars and I've used the different size tools and everything. So I do know the basics of the metric system. But so I know that it is a scale invariant of the imperial system. So you can't have one without the other because it's relative to time and it's measured off an arc second. So if there's an awesome documentary called Mysteries in Plain Sight, or I think that's what it's called. I mean, it's awesome and it's awesomely long too. You can find it on YouTube. Again, I can't remember the author's name, but he takes you across the country using Google Earth and all these other things, and he shows you all these, mystical, hidden, occulted stuff that's going on across the country. When you look down, you can see, pentagrams and all these different shapes and all these buildings lined up with the grid system and everything. Well, if you just know that what's behind all of that is the empirical system of knowledge and its scale invariance, that we're just building to the proportions of scale invariance when we use any of the empirical system. And it goes way back to Egypt and any pyramid building cultures that would line up their buildings with true north and then lay them out with constellations on the ground. In Egypt, for example, you can look up in the heavens and find Orion, and then you can find buildings on the ground that correspond with Orion. The world is going to be mystified by stuff like that if you're only using a metric system and you don't understand how all that blends together. The imperial system of knowledge, it's all intertwined, it's wrapped all together. And I think it's important that we keep it alive. It's part of, a great ancient evolution of thinking, but it's simple if you know yourself. I mean, that's all I can say. If you just put yourself at the center of all of it. Now, when it comes to some of the more obscure measurements that come along with the empirical system that have been added, or they call it an addendum, kind of attached to it over the years with all these really obscure things, especially when you get into the nautical part of it. It's really obscure, but at the core of it, I think it's simple. It's yourself, it's time, it's space, it's the sun, it's the moon, it's the solids, it's the polygons, and it's the fractions in music. I do have a question, anybody uses the metric system that doesn't have any of the imperial system, you guys still play music with, whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, eighth notes, 30 seconds and stuff like that, right? I mean, I'm not missing something there. Music is still using the imperial system. Anyways, it's probably one of the most boring topics in the world to some people, but to me it wraps up into the whole history of the world. I think studying history of humankind is just the most fascinating thing. It changes your whole perspective of what's going on today. Anyways, I think I'm going to go get some more coffee. This is about it. You guys be awesome, be blessed, love one another, teach one another, help one another, be kind. Use that frontal lobe, use that neocortex. Stay out of that lizard brain. Unless your life depends on it. Have a great day, people. And to anybody that watches this stuff and finds it curious, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Like I said, it's just a platform for me to express some stuff that most of the people I know around me aren't interested in at all. And of course I love playing music, so I like throwing down my guitar every once in a while. Sharing that with y'all. Alright guys, have a blessed day. Be cool. Later.